Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to be interviewing Todd Baldwin, and you've probably already seen his video before on Millennial Money because it's one of the most watched videos that they do have. He is a property investor and he's also recently started a YouTube channel as well, so if you'd like to check him out on YouTube, I've put a link down in the description below so you can check out his channel. He has an amazing story and he has managed to build up his real estate portfolio from absolutely nothing to having over $600,000 passive income from real estate per year. And we'll be interviewing him to see what his journey was and how he managed to build up this really impressive portfolio of real estate. He'll also be explaining to us what he did and how he managed to buy his first place and also do what is called house hacking, and how he was basically able to live for free for years while other people were paying off his mortgage. So if you'd like to learn more about house hacking and how to build up a really successful real estate portfolio, make sure you do stay till the end of the video. So with that said, let's get into the video. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we have a special guest on the channel. This is Todd Baldwin, and he is an expert in real estate. You've probably already seen his episode on Millennial Money on CNBC Make It. So welcome, Todd.
Awesome. Hey, thank you, Queenie. I am so happy to be here. I'm so excited that you reached out. And I know we were talking off air about how it's crazy that you can be in Australia and I can be in Seattle and we're doing this collab. So I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, it's so awesome to speak to you. And I completely agree. It's amazing what you can do now with the internet. And even though we're kind of in lockdown at the moment, it's still like, it's like we still get to meet people and things like that. So it's always good.
Yes, absolutely.
So I wanted to get a bit of a background story about you. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience?
Sure, absolutely. So just to go sort of way back and how this all started is I was raised by a single mother. She did not have a lot of resources. I saw her struggling, working many jobs. So at a very early age, I knew that I wanted to be financially independent and I wanted to build wealth. So I started working when I was 12 and I pretty much never, I got my first job when I was 12, shoveling manure.
Wow.
So and I started my first business when I was 15. I started making money online when I was 19, and then I started investing shortly thereafter. And now I'm a real estate investor. So that is pretty much kind of how this journey started. And my wife and I are up to 6 properties now, and so far so good.
Wow, that is such an impressive story. And I think it really goes to show that if you have that tenacity, if you have that burning desire and that fire inside you, you can really do anything, you know, and that's such an impressive story. Is your mom proud of you?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Well, first of all, thank you. I appreciate that. My mom is proud. It's so strange because it's almost like I reached this height, but it's the new normal. You know what I mean? So like I'm 28 now, but when I was 25, I crossed the $1 million net worth. I think it was like 1.2 when I turned 25. And at the time it was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. I can't believe I did it. And now it's just normal for me. It's just average. So, you know, we're continuing to grow. But yeah, my mom is proud. You know, we're going to be doing some fun things here in the future soon. And it's just kind of crazy how this journey has gotten here, and I'm excited to see where I continue to go and where you go. You're doing some pretty awesome stuff too.
Oh, thank you so much. You're so humble. I love that about you. And yeah, I think you'll be doing some amazing things. Like, look how far you've come in such a short period of time. I just wanted to go back to your journey when you first started. What was your first property like? How did you save for that deposit?
Sure, absolutely. So I was super fortunate when I left college. So, and I don't know how much people know or what they've seen or if anything at all, but I made the decision to drop out of school. I went to school for about 3 years and college was not for me. So I did leave school and ended up taking a sales job. But I got incredibly lucky with that sales job where I was making over $100,000 a year, pretty much 8 or 9 months after leaving school. So
Wow,
that was such a huge
awesome.
blessing. Thank you. Yeah, that was, that was amazing. So having that high income job allowed me to save for the down payment, or I think in Australia you guys call it deposit. I think actually everywhere except the United States, it's called a deposit. But in the
Really?
America, for whatever reason, it's called a down payment. So,
That's so
but
funny.
they're synonyms. So the down payment for my first house was only $19,000, and it was because I was able to buy owner occupied, meaning I was going to live there with a first time home buyer program. So I got to put way less than 20% down. And my wife and I, which at the time she was just my girlfriend when we bought that place, we decided to live in the master bedroom and rent out the extra bedrooms in that house. So we were living completely for free.
That is so impressive. I love that part, like the house hacking that you did. Like that is just so clever. And I think it really goes to show like the amazing things you can do with real estate. It's such a cool investment because if you're creative like you are and you see those opportunities and you just take them, you can really make a lot of money from it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and for us, it just made so much sense. I mean, the beauty about house hacking is you also need a place to live. So instead of paying off somebody else's mortgage or going to rent an apartment somewhere, if you buy a house that you can afford and then you have roommates that you're renting bedrooms out to, it's good for them because they're getting cheap rent, but it's good for you because hopefully your mortgage is paid for in full each and every month. And that was our experience. So we bought our first house in, I believe, December of 2015. And 9 months later, we bought our second house. And we just kept buying houses to, just 4.5 years after the first one, we had 6 properties. And I'm now actually filming in a room in a duplex that we bought last August. And it's been great.
I love your new studio and it's such a really impressive story. It's just about starting, and then you can only really go up from there. And so where did you first learn about property investing?
So as I mentioned earlier, when I was in high school, I started my first business when I was 15, and it happened to be a lawn care business. And at the time, minimum wage in my area was about $8.60 an hour. But with starting my own lawn care business, I could pretty much make double that. And one of my clients for my lawn care business was a man who owned tons of rental properties. And all through college, I knew that I wanted to make enough money to buy real estate.
Wow, that's really cool. And did he teach you a bit about real estate investing? Did he show you the ropes or did you ask him about that?
He was actually a pretty private guy. I didn't get any information as far as numbers or anything like that. But I just saw he was living an incredible life. I saw it was because of real estate. So I did not really have a mentor in the traditional sense. I pretty just learned trial by fire and, relied on books and podcasts. A podcast that I listen to quite a bit is Bigger Pockets. They have a lot of good stuff on real estate. And I just kind of went for it. I didn't really have a ton of coaching or guidelines, but I knew it was something that I wanted to do.
That's really cool. I think it's very comforting to know that people like you that are doing so well, like some of us, like we haven't had that experience or we haven't had people to ask questions to, but you were still so interested in it that you learned yourself and you're still able to get to where you are today, like just through your own tenacity, which is amazing. That's such a cool story.
Thank you. Yeah. I know a lot of people are just so, whether it's waiting for the right time, or they're just hesitant or scared to start. I think the difference between super successful people, like you and me and people that just haven't gotten there yet is you and I just sort of take the jump, right? I mean, you knew you wanted financial independence by the time you were 19 and you made that a priority in your life. And now you're so successful and you're on YouTube and have all these great things going on. And some people might look at you and say, oh, well, she must have just gotten lucky or she must have inherited a fortune from her parents. And it's like, no, you just worked really hard. You had a goal and you worked towards it. And the good news is everybody can do that. I mean, anyone who has a goal, they can work towards it if they want to.
Yes, I completely agree with that. Like, totally agree. I think it's so easy to just make excuses for seeing other people doing well, just like, oh, they must have had this or whatever, and I don't have that, so I'm not going to be successful. It's just like, sometimes you just have to cut out the excuses, just go after what you want, and eventually you'll get there.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that in modern times, in, let's call it 2020, the only barriers holding you back from success are the ones that you create in your own mind. So if you approach life like, shoot, I can't succeed, I'm a failure, whatever it is, that might become true for you. So believing in yourself is a really important first step. I think confidence is key. And once you have the confidence piece down, just learn your craft, whether it's stock investing or real estate or whatever. And then you just got to go for it.
Yeah, so I think it's also just about having that mindset of being open and not having a fixed mindset. Sometimes I catch myself as well, like seeing other people. There's always someone you can compare yourself to, and comparing myself to other people, thinking like, oh, look at them, like they have this, why don't I have that? And kind of like getting down on myself, thinking, oh, like it's because I'm bad or I'm shit or I can't do that. And then whenever I catch myself thinking that way, it's so unproductive. And I realize that that type of thinking is not going to get me what I want. And instead of thinking like that, I try to think about how I can learn from this person. Like, how did this person get there? What can I do to get there? And I find that having that mindset and thinking that way, it's just so much more productive. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I first must admit, I think it's interesting that sometimes you have that mindset because you're doing so well, and you've built this huge net worth for yourself, and you're really successful and you're respected. And so it's interesting. It goes to show that anyone can have that mindset because there will always be somebody that maybe is at the next level. But for me, when I meet someone who's doing better than me, it just fires me up. I'm a competitive guy, so it makes me want to do better. But I prefer to surround myself with people who are doing significantly better because it'll make me want to grow and change, and I can learn something from them. So I completely agree. Mindset is everything.
Yeah, totally agree. And so now you have your 6 properties, which is
Mm-hmm.
like amazing. What's next from here? What are your future goals?
Sure. So we'll see how this coronavirus pandemic maps out because I actually had it. I wanted to buy an apartment building this year, but we'll see what the market does. But I definitely want to own some apartment buildings. I want to start a few other companies that I'm looking at. But really, for me, I just want to keep investing. I do stocks too. Real estate is my bread and butter. It's my ride or die. So I definitely want to get some apartment buildings here. And hopefully, I'll be able to get one this year. We'll see what happens.
Wow, apartment buildings. That's amazing. That's really, really cool. What an awesome goal. And you mentioned that you do have like a stock portfolio. So you're looking more to go into real estate, and stocks is just, I guess, like a side hustle, like an investing hustle.
Yeah, so I think it's important to diversify. I don't want to ever have all my eggs in one basket. Real estate is something that I understand and that does really well. But being able to buy, sell, and trade stock is also it's a lot easier than real estate. Let me say that because you can get in and out of a market in seconds. Where real estate, if you want to go sell one of your properties, it does take some time. But yeah, it just goes back to, I buy real estate, the real estate produces cash flow, and I use some of that cash flow to invest in S&P 500. And of course, I would advise to anyone out there to max out a 401k if you have them with your work, or an IRA. You can do these accounts that have these tax benefits, to save you money in the long run. So I do think doing a combination of real estate and stocks is key. And I know we both know it. A lot of investors are like real estate versus stocks. And I think you should do real estate and stocks.
Yeah, totally agree. I totally agree. It's interesting that you mentioned like IRA, like Roth IRAs and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. In Australia, it's called superannuation. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's a cool system. Thank you so much for coming on the channel. Like, it's been so great to talk to you. You're obviously a very smart, ambitious, determined guy, and I'm sure that you will be able to buy your apartment block really, really soon. And honestly, any goals that you set for yourself, I'm sure you'll be able to reach them. You're doing so well.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure coming on, and yeah, I think you're doing amazing, and clearly you're successful. So I have no doubt that anything you want to accomplish, you're going to totally go out there and kill it as well.
Oh, thank you. And by the way, I'll also put a link in the description below and in the first comment to Todd's channel. So he's got a YouTube channel as well where he does collaborations with other YouTubers, and also a lot of information about how he buys real estate and the things that he's learned on his journey. So it's a really awesome channel.
highly recommend you check it out. I'll put it in the description below.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found Todd's story impressive. I certainly did when I was watching it on Millennial Money. And make sure you do check out his YouTube channel. I put a link down in the description below. And if you did enjoy this video, please show your support and give this video a like. It really helps out my YouTube channel. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing. I produce 2 new videos every single week about making money, saving money, and also investing. See ya!